Hi, I'm Gavin,
And I'm Dave.
and you're on the fringe.
Come along with us for a ride on a podcast where we talk about an area or a thing going on in the world that needs more attention, just like you do. Let's go.
On the fringe. Here we go.
All
Okay,
right.
so welcome back. We're on the fringe. This is Gavin. This is my good friend Dave. What are we doing today, Dave?
Well, Gavin and I are testing out Chat GPT for planning trips. And I have used Chat GPT three times in my life. Once to kind of screw around with it before I went to Thailand in it was last year, just to test it out in terms of, okay, how does it work in different language interfaces? So English, Korean, and Russian, and typing in, okay, where should I go? What should I do? And basically gave me a bunch of different stuff. And here we are using it in English, and we're both getting very, very different ideas and itineraries based around what ChatGPT thinks we want to do. Right, Gavin?
Oh, indeed. And just to confess, I've used it much more extensively, I think. I actually last year I spent a lot of time sort of farting around on it, largely because as someone who works in education, you encounter it quite a bit. And it's good to know what you're dealing with. So
Mm-hmm.
I've spent some time on it. I've used it before to come up with itineraries. And in fact, recently used it quite extensively to come up with an itinerary. But I've used it for other things as well. I've used it for storyboarding blog ideas. I've used it for pricing, proposals, all kinds of things. And yeah, it has taken that information and it has formed, I would say, a pretty accurate profile of what I want to do on vacation, which is thrilling and disturbing all at the same time. So, what's the title of your day one, Dave?
So the title of my day one, we decided that we're just going to do 3 days in Madrid, in Spain, and see
Yeah.
what ChatGPT spits out. My day one says historical and cultural landmarks. It's
Mine
very general,
says,
very conservative.
again, because it doesn't have as much information, mine says historical and cultural Madrid. And you start off with a visit to where?
Puerta del Sol and Plaza Mayor and Mercado de San Miguel.
And I start off with a visit to the Royal Palace. Then I go to the Almudena Cathedral. Then I take a coffee break. It knows I like taking coffee breaks. Then
And mine just says enjoy a snack or coffee. So
it
ChatGPT
doesn't
on my
know.
end does not know what I actually like. It's just spitting out, oh, maybe you like a snack, maybe you drink coffee. And if I say, oh, where can I go to get a cup of tea? I would imagine if I say that two or three times, ChatGPT is going to remember that this guy likes tea. So in the future, if I say
100%.
I'm going to a country or I'm looking for a place to have a break, it's going to give me tea houses.
100%. And the next thing for me is big too. Where are you going for lunch, Dave?
So it did not give me a lunch option. It gave me a dinner option, but it just says very, very general information. You can enjoy tapas and drinks in this vibrant neighborhood, especially on Cava Baja Street.
No, it
Dinner
takes
in La
me.
Latina.
So I'm going to Plaza Mayor, but I'm not going to Plaza Mayor to see anything because it's taking me for lunch at the world's oldest restaurant because it has the world's best roast suckling pig. It knows I like food. I'm not going to look at anything. I'm going down there to eat. And then afterwards, because I think it's figured out that I like taking a walk after my meals, then I'm going to Puerto del Sol.
Wow. And mine, so I have Plaza Mayor, but it says walk to this grand square with stunning architecture and lively atmosphere. I don't know even that restaurant exists in Plaza Mayor. And then it says Royal Palace, explore the opulent interiors and gardens of one of Europe's largest palaces. So it doesn't say anything about walking around. It doesn't say anything about actually experiencing the green spaces. It's just basically go and see what's there. And it's basically fishing for information.
It's so interesting. So it says for me, instead of what you just said about the Royal Palace, it says tour not the opulent, tour the luxurious interiors and the beautiful gardens. So small change in word choice, but I find it really interesting that it switched out opulent for luxurious.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, it's very different because if I'm going, it said that I'm going for a trip that's covering the city's highlights, cultural gems, and local experiences.
hmm,
And then day one is cultural landmarks. So it's really trying to push the fact that, oh, the Royal Palace of Madrid is a genuine cultural landmark with opulent interiors.
yeah, I don't think it's doing that for me. Uh, day two. I mean, oh, I should ask first. What do you end your evening with?
So mine doesn't say anything. It just says enjoy tapas and drinks in this vibrant neighborhood. Nothing for a nightcap, nothing for going dancing, nothing for going clubbing.
Yeah,
Zero. And it
it
doesn't
tells
say
me
anything as well about Spanish culture where stuff will shut down in the afternoon, people will take a siesta, and then people will go out at
everything's
night.
open
It's just
until four
very
in the
generally
morning.
boring.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And actually, as someone who was just in Spain, it's worth telling people if you go to Spain, please remember between about uh 3 and 4 in the afternoon to really 9:30, everything is shut down. You might be able to get a cup of coffee and a sandwich, but that's about it. Um, things open very late. Most people don't start having dinner until about 10:30, and things are not going to start shutting down until about 3, 4 in the morning. You forget it, and then you go back and you're like, oh yeah, this is just a little bit of a different way of living. For me, at the end of day one, I'm ending the evening with a cocktail at a bar on
Ooh,
Calle del Paz. Yeah, I mean
ooh.
it's funny. It's realized that I like to have a drink at the end of the evening. I think it yeah, no, it gives me that on all the days.
Wow.
It gives me that
Mine,
on all the days. It's realized I like a nightcap.
yeah,
So
and mine is just very general. So walk around and admire stuff and experience a local flamenco performance. And that's on the evening of day two. But it doesn't say anything about where or how much it's going to cost. It's just spitting out general ideas because it
that
doesn't know
is
anything
so
about me.
interesting. But I also think, and this is just for people who use Chat GPT, if you tell it repeatedly, which I have, because this is I'm this way in class and I'm this way with Chat GPT. I want things to be as specific as possible. And I don't know how many times I've entered in, please be more specific, add more detail. So I think it does avoid generalities with me because I've just asked it to so many times. Um, otherwise, I think I'd get what you're getting, which is kind of vague.
Hmm.
Um,
And the funny thing too, so at the very end, after the evening of day three, let me
hmm,
know if you'd like recommendations for accommodations, restaurants, or any specific activities. So it's basically saying, I don't know what you want to do or how you want to spend your 3 days. Here's some ideas. Give me more information. Be more specific.
Yeah, so I got a different tag on the end. I got, let me know if you'd like any adjustments or additional details because it knows
Wow.
what I want.
Wow.
It
Yeah,
knows I
it's
want
built a
additional
profile of you and it's asking you, how do I adjust this profile of you?
and to be fair, it's right to do that because I asked it to create an itinerary for a city, a much longer itinerary, and I probably went through, I think, at least 35, 40 different iterations, making very small and very large adjustments constantly over a couple hours. And I think it has internalized the knowledge it or the data it collected in that period of time. And it is now weaponizing it against me in a way that I'm kind of enjoying. Uh, how do you start day two, Dave?
So I start day two with Museo del Prado and then Retiro Park.
And I do the exact same thing, to be fair. I have the exact same itinerary, but my next question is going to be, what does it say about the Prado?
Prado, immerse yourself in Spanish masterpieces by Velázquez, Goya, and El Greco.
Oh no, that's exactly the same.
Okay.
The wording's slightly different. It's begin with a visit, exploring masterpieces, but no, Velasquez, Goya, El Greco, it's all there.
Okay.
Lunch, what are you going
Interesting.
for lunch?
It did not give me a lunch option. I guess I'm going hungry.
Okay.
ChatGPT thinks I don't need to eat.
I think Chat GPT thinks you live off of Huel.
Probably.
Probably. Probably. I'm going for tapas at La Castella. You have an
Ooh.
open invitation. What are you doing after lunch?
Ooh. Well, actually, so it did give me lunch. Lunch is in the afternoon. I
Oh.
missed that. So lunch at Lavapiés. Try try Spanish and international cuisines in this multicultural district.
Okay, so it's giving you a district at least.
Yeah. It's giving me a district, but again, it doesn't know what I want to eat. It doesn't know if I have dietary restrictions. It's giving me a part of the
I
city that
didn't
it
even.
thinks I would probably find something that's going to suit me,
Yeah, I
but it
did not
doesn't know what is
think
going to
of
suit me.
it
So it's
wrong.
throwing out a very, very big net.
So where are you going after lunch, Dave?
After lunch, Gran Via, and then a flamenco show.
So I went to Grand Via on the evening of day one, and it has me going to the Thyssen Bornemisza Museum. I know I mispronounced that, known for its diverse art collection. Uh, and then in the evening, it's got another neighborhood suggestion. I'm going to the literary quarter to see historic landmarks. It doesn't tell me what those landmarks might be, but it's giving me a place for dinner and it's giving me a place to get a nightcap.
Wow. I have nothing.
I'm sorry, Dave.
No food for Dave. Dave just gets lunch in Lava Pies in that district. No option for food, no place to go, nothing
I
about
got,
costs, nothing about type of cuisine. It's
you
just
have to ask,
basically shooting in the dark.
yeah, you have to ask for budget. If we put in a budget request in the line we put in, you would get item by item budget. I have done that. It is relatively accurate, I would say. Um, again, take all of this with a grain of salt, people. Yeah, I got a hidden
Mm-hmm.
rooftop bar with a lush garden vibe for the evening. So,
Excellent.
nothing wrong with that. Day three, last day in the town. In the morning, where are we going?
So I've got the Temple of Debod, and then I have the Chueca neighborhood.
it's not sending me to Chueca at all. And I am going to Debode, but I'm going in the evening to take in the sunset views.
Ah, didn't say anything about the sunset view. For me, it says enjoy a panoramic view of Madrid, but this is in the morning. So I would
Yeah.
have never known that you could go to this place at night and get a cool sunset view.
Well, I don't know that you can do that either because I haven't looked it up yet. I don't know if it's open in the evening, but ChatGPT thinks it is.
Ah,
Um,
okay.
no, in the morning I'm going to the Reina Sofia Museum to see Picasso's Guernica, and then I'm going to the Lavapiés neighborhood.
Okay.
And then the
Say what you're gonna
afternoon,
do over there?
street art and cultural flair. I'm not entirely sure it knows what that means. Um, because everyone has a different interpretation of what that means. Afternoon, lunch at Mercado de San Miguel, and then shopping on the Calle Serrano.
So it's telling me to go to Toledo or Segovia and go
Oh,
on a
so
day
it's
trip.
taking you. Yeah, it's a day trip. You're going out of town, and I'm going shopping.
Yep. So it's saying go out of Madrid and go on a day trip to another
Oh
city. So it
man.
doesn't know what I'm looking for, but says for Toledo, medieval architecture, El Greco art, and a cathedral. So it's spitting out three different topics that I would potentially find interesting in Toledo. And then in Segovia, Roman aqueduct, Alcazar Castle, and Gothic cathedral. So more architecture and I would say more historical
Mhm.
architecture and more big scale places to visit and get photo ops.
Yeah, what I have noticed is it has picked up on the fact that I have very little interest in photo ops because it's not sending me. The only place it's really sent me to that has a view is like the Temple of Debod. Um, yeah, and then after Debod, I've got dinner at a chic restaurant with a botanical inspired interior. It really thinks I like plants with dinner. I don't know where it developed this idea. It's interesting. And then I'm ending the trip at a flamenco show, and it gives me the name of a place to go.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I have to say it's probably been boring as hell for the people listening, but I have found this totally fascinating because again, without a lot of intentionality, I think this has illustrated how much information you give away without being even vaguely aware that that's what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you're basically allowing Chat GPT to build a profile. And this goes back to an episode that we actually just recorded about organized crime trying to build a profile on you. So anything that you put out there, I mean, I don't know how secure ChatGPT or OpenAI keeps information about their users, but if you use Meta's AI or you use ChatGPT or Siri, anything like that, you're basically building a profile of yourself that this company has access to. And depending on where that company is, they may keep it safe or they may try to sell it off to somebody else for a couple of bucks.
Yeah, and just be aware and try to be cognizant of the information that you put on the internet. I know it's
Mm-hmm.
difficult. This is somewhat caught me by surprise, but uh, if you interact with the internet, eventually it'll start interacting with you. Um,
That it will.
that it will. That it will. On that note, thank you for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate all the feedback, and thank you for being with us on the Fringe.